everyone, this is me Borsha and of course I hope everybody is fine. And already আপনারা দেখতে পাচ্ছেন আমার সাথে I have two guests with me. So আমি introduce করে দিই। আমার সাথে প্রথমে আছেন মিস্টার ফাহিম শাহরিয়ার যিনি রিসেন্টলি ভিসা পেয়েছেন ফর কানাডা। সো তার কাছ থেকে আমরা তার এক্সপেরিয়েন্স শুনবো, তার জার্নিটা শুনবো, প্রমিনেন্টের সাথে তার জার্নিটা কেমন ছিল বা তার গল্পটা কেমন ছিল সেটা শুনবো। এবং আমাদের সাথে ফাহিমের বাবা আছেন। আঙ্কেল আসসালামু আলাইকুম, কেমন আছেন?
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম, ভালো আছি। আপনি ভালো আছেন?
হ্যাঁ অবশ্যই। আর ফাহিম দিয়ে শুরু করি। হ্যাঁ, সো ফার্স্ট অফ অল কংগ্রেচুলেশন, আপনি তো ব্রক ইউনিভার্সিটিতে সাকসেসফুলি চান্স পেয়েছেন এবং সেপ্টেম্বর সেশনে যাচ্ছেন। প্রথমে কংগ্রেচুলেশন, অনেক অনেক শুভকামনা আপনার জন্য। তো আমরা ছোট করে আগে জানতে চাই যে কেমন ছিল স্টার্টিংটা, কেমন ছিল?
Starting was really good actually. কারণ প্রথমে after completing everything যখন এখানে এসে স্টার্ট করলাম তখন পেপার ওয়ার্ক থেকে শুরু করে এভরিথিং সব স্মুথলি চলে গেছে। সো যখন ফাইনালি ভিসাটা হাতে আসলো I was very happy about it. Yeah.
Okay, so এখানে মানে বাংলাদেশে কোন লেভেল কমপ্লিট করা
A levels complete করা হয়েছে। All of us at A-levels. So
ব্রক ইউনিভার্সিটিতে আপনি কোন
ব্রক ইউনিভার্সিটি কম্পিউটিং এন্ড বিজনেস এটার জন্য পড়তে যাচ্ছি। এটা co-op program. Because co-op program to start with Brock University, the co-op program is very good. I heard according to my friends and other people. So it is an apply program. So I guess everything is going nice.
So আপনি অবশ্যই ডেফিনেটলি খুশি?
Yeah, of course. I'm very happy.
ক্লাস শুরু হচ্ছে কবে?
Class শুরু হচ্ছে আপনার 5th September and 1st September I'm on a flight. So in 2nd September যে পৌঁছাবো and 2-3 দিনের মধ্যে I guess সব কিছু কমপ্লিট করে ক্লাস শুরু করতে হবে।
কেমন লাগছে? খুব এক্সাইটিং লাগছে?
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
ডিফারেন্ট একটা এক্সপেরিয়েন্স হবে ডেফিনেটলি অনেক ভালো।
Yeah, I'm very happy about it because আমার ইচ্ছা ছিল আর কি।
আঙ্কেলের কাছে আসি যে আপনার অনুভূতি কেমন, আপনার কেমন লাগছে? ছেলের একটা স্বপ্ন ছিল, এটা তো সবারই একটা বাবা মার একটা স্বপ্ন থাকে যে ছেলে ভালো জায়গায় পড়াশোনা করবে বা সন্তান ভালো জায়গায় পড়াশোনা করবে, ভালো একটা জীবনযাত্রা পাবে। তো আপনার
আমার অনুভূতি অনেক ভালো। আমার ছেলের সাথে আমার আগ্রহ বেশি ছিল, ছেলে বাইরে কোনো ভালো ইউনিভার্সিটি লেখাপড়া করবে, এটা আমি আগে চেয়ে আসছি। এই জন্য তাকে এ-লেভেলস করার পর আমি বলছি তুমি এখানে IELTS ভালো করে করবে। সে IELTS এর জন্য সময় দিয়েছে, সময় দিয়ে ভালো করছে। আমার এক বন্ধুর মাধ্যমে জানতে পারলাম যে প্রমিনেন্টে ভালো ছেলে, ভালো লোক পাঠায়। ওর রেফারেন্স দিয়েছে সাজিদ নাম এক ছেলে, সাজিদ 2 বছর চলে গেছে। আমি সেই সংবাদ পেয়ে আসছি, সংবাদ পেয়ে এসে আপনাদের এখানে আলোচনা করলাম। আলোচনা করার পর আমার ভালো লাগছে। আমি অন্য 2-1 জায়গায় গেছি, যাওয়ার পরও আমার কাছে কমফোর্টেবলি, আপনাদের কাছে কমফোর্টেবল হয়েছে। তাই আমি চিন্তা করছি এখান থেকে দেবো। আমি আশা করছি সার্বিক সহযোগিতা আপনাদের কাছ থেকে পেয়েছি। বিশেষ করে এটা কর্ণধার আপনারা যারা আছেন এবং সাদিব সাহেব অত্যন্ত কোঅপারেটিভ, স্মুথলি এভরিথিং হয়েছে। আমি টিকিট ইয়ার জন্য, ভিসা পাওয়ার জন্য যত কাগজপত্র প্রয়োজন এত বেশি সহযোগিতা পেয়েছি চিন্তাই করা যাবে না। আমার একেবারে খুঁটিনাটি সব বিষয়ে আমাকে এখান থেকে একটা আইডিয়া দেওয়া হয়েছে। তো আমিও অ্যাকর্ডিংলি সমস্ত কাগজপত্র রেডি করছি, রেডি করে আপনাদের পরামর্শ অনুযায়ী ভিসার জন্য অ্যাপ্লাই করছি। 20-22 দিনের মধ্যে, 22 দিন বা 23 দিনের মধ্যে আমার ছেলে ভিসা এসে গেছে। ভিসা আসার পর আমার একদিকে আনন্দ, আরেকদিকে বেদনাও আছে। আনন্দ লাগার কারণ হলো ছেলে বাইরে যাবে, আর যেহেতু কানাডা 5 ইয়ার্স ভিসা পাইছে, কানাডা গেছে লেখাপড়া করতে গেলে যে কোনো সময় হুট করে চলে আসতে পারবে না, অনেক দূরের পর দেখা হবে না অনেকদিন, এই জন্য খারাপ লাগছে। আবার একটু ভালো লাগে কারণ আজকে তো দেখা হওয়াটা স্বাভাবিক, ভিডিও কনফারেন্সের মাধ্যমে আমরা দেখা হয়, কথাবার্তা হয়। আই এম হ্যাপি। আমি প্রমিনেন্টের সার্ভিস যা দিয়েছে আমাকে যথেষ্ট হেভি, আমার কাছে ভালো লাগছে। আমি আমার বন্ধু বান্ধব অনেককে বলেছি যদি কাউকে মানে তোমরা বিদেশে পাঠাতে চাও তাহলে আমার সাথে পরামর্শ করো। যদি কানাডা কেউ যেতে চায়, কানাডার জন্য প্রমিনেন্ট এবং অন্যান্য কান্ট্রি যেতে গেলে আমি তোমাদের ইন্ট্রোডিউস করাই দেবো। তো অনেকের সাথে আমার কথা হয়েছে, এরাও আশা করি ইনশাল্লাহ আসবে। আর আপনাদের কল্যাণ কামনা করি আমি, আরও ভালো করেন। আপনার স্টুডেন্টরা পাঠাচ্ছেন, আপনারা যে সহযোগিতা দিচ্ছেন এই সহযোগিতা পেলে স্টুডেন্টদের ফাইলে কোনো রকম একটা ভুল ত্রুটি থাকবে না।
অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ। আর আপনি যেটা বললেন, আমরা যেটা অবশ্যই চেষ্টা করি প্রমিনেন্ট থেকে যে একটা স্টুডেন্ট শুধুমাত্র যাওয়া প্রসেসিং তাই শুধু নয়, একটা স্টুডেন্টের ক্যারিয়ার থেকে শুরু করে আমরা চেষ্টা করি ওভারঅল গাইডলাইন করার। সো অনেক ধন্যবাদ। আমি তোমার কাছে আবার আসি যে তোমার তো স্কলারশিপ
আমি 6000 USD CAD আর কি দিয়েছিল আমাদেরকে। যখন আফটার রেজাল্টস গুলো সব চেক করে ওরা আমাদেরকে বললো যে আমাদের 6000 Canadian dollars দেওয়া হবে। এন্ড আই গেস এটা কন্টিনিউ হবে, রেজাল্টের উপর ডিপেন্ড করবে। আর্লিতে তো
ডিপেন্ডস অন তোমার A-levels
রেজাল্টের উপর। হ্যাঁ, ট্রান্সফার ক্রেডিট সব। তো ওরা বলেছে এটা তো আর্লিতে দেয়, বাট তারপর এটা ম্যাটার করবে হচ্ছে চট্টগ্রাম সিজিপিটা যদি মেনটেন করতে পারে, এটার উপর অলওয়েজ ডিপেন্ড করে। So, yeah.
সো মানে তুমি যখন স্টার্ট করেছো প্রসেসিং তখন কি এক্সপেকটেশন ছিল যে এত কম সময় আঙ্কেল যেহেতু বললো যে মাত্র 20-22 দিনের মধ্যে সবকিছু কমপ্লিট হয়ে গেছে?
না, কারণ নর্মালি আমি যতটুকু জানি যে একটু টাইম লাগে, লাইক 1 মান্থ উপর
এত
লাগে।
কম সময়ে তার উপরে উইথ স্কলারশিপ, খুব ভালো ড্রপ, কিন্তু ওয়ান অফ দ্য বেস্ট ইউনিভার্সিটি ইন কানাডা। সো এত ভালো একটা ইউনিভার্সিটি উইথ স্কলারশিপ উইদিন আ ভেরি ফিউ টাইম, সো এটা কি এক্সপেকটেশন ছিল?
না, এক্সপেকটেশন ছিল না। সো দ্যাটস ওয়াই আই এম রিয়েলি হ্যাপি অ্যাবাউট ইট, যে একটু তাড়াতাড়ি হয়ে গেল।
Thank you. So hopefully তুমি তোমার ফ্লাইট তো রিসেন্টলি
In like 20 days.
তুমি ভালো একটা পরিবেশে যাচ্ছ, ভালোভাবে সবকিছু কমপ্লিট হবে। সো লাস্টলি যেটা বলবো যে তোমার যেসব ফ্রেন্ডরা যেতে চাচ্ছে তাদের জন্য তুমি কি রেকমেন্ড করবে?
হ্যাঁ, আমি ডেফিনেটলি রেকমেন্ড করবো ফ্রেন্ডস, ফ্যামিলি বা সামনে যারা আমাকে আস্ক করবে যে কানাডা যাওয়ার জন্য কিভাবে কি করতে হয়, আই উড ডেফিনেটলি রেকমেন্ড আপনার প্রমিনেন্ট কনসালটেন্সি। কারণ আমি অ্যাকর্ডিং টু মি অ্যান্ড মাই প্যারেন্টস আমি জানি যে ভালোই সহযোগিতা পেয়েছি এখানে। সো আই এম রিয়েলি হ্যাপি অ্যাবাউট ইট, সার্ভিস নিয়ে। সো রেকমেন্ড করবো।
থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। তোমার যাওয়ার আগে অবশ্যই আমি জানি অনেক পরিস্থিতি, অনেক ব্যস্ততার মাঝে আসলে সময় করে যে আমাদেরকে টাইম দিয়েছো, সেটার জন্য অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ আঙ্কেল। আপনাকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ, অনেক শুভকামনা রইল ফাহিমের জন্য এবং ফাহিমের বাবার জন্য।
আপনাকে ধন্যবাদ।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
আর এই যে প্রতিষ্ঠানের যিনি কর্ণধার, ওনাকেও ধন্যবাদ। বিশেষ করে মোসাদ্দেক ভাই যে সহযোগিতা করেছে, অসংখ্য সহযোগিতা করেছে আমাকে, আমি ব্যক্তিগতভাবে কৃতজ্ঞ এবং ধন্যবাদ জানাই।
Thank you so much, and viewer, I hope আপনারা অনেক কিছু জেনেছেন, কারণ অনেকের অনেক ধরনের কোয়েরিজ থাকে কানাডা নিয়ে, আমাদের পড়াশোনা নিয়ে। সো সরাসরি দেখা যায় যখন একজন বাবা এবং সন্তান সরাসরি এসে কথা বলে, আপনাদের নিজেদের অনেক কনফিউশন দূর হয়। সো আপনাদের কনফিউশন দূর করা এবং আপনাদেরকে সঠিক গাইডলাইন দেওয়ার জন্য কিন্তু আমাদের এই প্রচেষ্টা। সো অবশ্যই ভালো থাকবেন আর প্রমিনেন্টের সাথে।
Yes, dear viewers, welcome you once again on today's live session, and definitely this is a live session, quite different live session, because most of the cases we do live session with different universities from different countries, and we had a few live sessions with our that our students as well, but this is a bit different live session with some of our younger brother who is really a prominent and very promising IELTS instructor in our country, and Mr. Daniel Khan, and we'll be talking to him. Definitely we'll be introducing him, and we'll try to know so many things from him about English proficiency test matters, like IELTS, TOEFL, PT, or other matters. So before that, I'd like to say something. Actually, as you know that we are passing a very critical time, very critical time, and the whole world is facing this trouble because of COVID-19. And every moment we are losing so many peoples, and who are our friends, who are our relatives, who are our well-wishers, and we are really losing all of them very quickly, and every day we are losing so many people. So we are becoming very frustrated, we are becoming very upset, and honestly speaking, it's really we are really in panic, and we are actually, I don't know that how many times, how long we can afford these things. So first of all, I just want to say one thing, that definitely this frustration can come very quickly because of this pandemic, because we are staying in home, some people, we don't have any work. But I would say that try to make yourself busy as much as you can, It could be, suppose your business, your service is not online based or virtual based, but still try to find something by yourself that which can make you busy. You can do so many works, you can plan to do some exceptional works, some new works, get some new ideas, try to do something like singing, music, reading books, try to visit so many websites, try to learn so many things. It will make you busy. When you are busy, then the frustration will not touch you. Okay, so that is very important. So do these things and try to be safe, try to make yourself safe and keep other people safe as well, because which is very important nowadays, and for ourselves, because first of all we need to survive, we need to live. then we can explore our career, we can do anything if we can survive. So that's very important. Just wait couple of weeks, I would say couple of weeks, keep yourself that in home, and try to be safe. So it will give us a more benefits for our longer journey. And definitely don't stop yourself dreaming. You should dream, and you should not die before actually that I would say that don't stop yourself thinking of anything. Do keep yourself busy, and try to find something new in yourself. Okay, discover something new. So that's very important, because it's very shocking that we are losing so many people, and still I think still we have time to recover all these things. So I would say, please be safe, and try to be safe, and try to make other people safe as well. So Daniel, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so welcome you to this live session. And I would like
Thanks
to
a lot.
request you to say hello to all viewers and introduce yourself, if you could introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Daniel Khan from Quality Education Zone. Thanks to Said Bhai for welcoming me to his humble life class or live session, whatever you say. And he's a very cordially humble and nice person that I've ever met. And he loves me like his own younger brother. So it's a very big honor for me to make a live video with him. And as I have heard, he is the most supporting person that there are in the market. And the thing that he said is a pretty much appropriate, because these days we are suffering from some serious mental issues, pandemic issues. People are losing jobs. They are having financial issues. Some people are having psychological issues because they are not able to do anything. The things I say that stay busy, because you need to do something which will help you to stay busy, keep your mind out of frustration, distraction. Say, for if you take me for example, I'm taking live classes, I'm doing this, side by doing this online. These things can influence people, motivate people. You should discover yourself. These things can be harmful for you, because if coronavirus doesn't kill you, the frustration might. So you need to do something, and you should do something which helps you to discover yourself, something innovative, something creative. You can read books, watch movies, you can even watch this kind of videos which can influence you. Especially you should talk to people who are like Said Bhai, who can motivate you, because motivation is something which can be much more brighter than a matchstick in a dark hole, because it's a very powerful fuel. Motivation can turn even the most hopeless person to someone else. So you need to be positive about the whole situation. Look, after everything, after every bad situation, okay, after everything negative, there is a good outcome of everything. In one word, there is a good result is waiting after a long period of darkness. So if we are going through some bad times, it's for our own well-being. And if I may say personally, we actually aren't the virus, because it is actually our humankind's fault. So from now on, we should be more conscious about our surroundings and everything, that we should look after better. And we should also take care of our elders, parents, and everyone else. That should also be very helpful for everyone, because this virus is not only keeping you content, this virus should also be helpful to you to get close to your relatives, friends, family members, your grandparents. This can be very beneficial. So I hope I got myself clear with my topic. And side by please.
Exactly. Definitely. Actually, as he said that, I mean, every bad times are not the permanent. Every bad time is not the permanent. Definitely, we'll have good times after that. So you need to keep patience. You need to keep yourself busy, because so far I can see that uh, to become very busy in our life is most vital part. So please try to be busy and try to discover yourself. So Daniel, we'll go for the our topics today. We wanted to discuss about the IELTS and English proficiency tests, which actually are very important in our career or study abroad journey. So first of all, when I got calls from students for study abroad, like UK, USA, or Canada, so most of them are asking that whether IELTS is compulsory or not. I feel that they are quite afraid. They are quite afraid to sit for IELTS, because they are feeling that maybe they won't get a good score, maybe they cannot get the required score. They won't be able to get the required score. They are quite nervous and quite afraid of getting the IELTS score. They are thinking that it maybe it's quite difficult. So why people are thinking in that way, and actually is it so difficult to have some English proficiency score like IELTS, TOEFL, or PT?
Okay, there are like quite a few questions altogether. I will try to answer all of them one by one. Firstly, nothing is difficult if you put your mind in a proper way. Okay, so say for IELTS, when I did my IELTS in 2009 back then, I did it totally on my own. And I got a 6 back then when I was even 18. And then I did another IELTS exam in 2015, I got 7.5. So the thing is, I got it in 15 days. It's not bragging, it's saying that if you try your best, you can do it. And when it comes to the difficulty level, it varies from person to person and the field of their study, as well as even the surrounding. If someone is coming from village or a rural area, they might have an issue, but it's not that they cannot overcome it. Because I have seen some student who got 7, even 7.5, even from some rural areas, I can't even remember the name. They were very determined and hardworking. There was a student, I won't say his name, he's in Canada at the moment. He was that much determined that he used to spend half an hour every day after class with me so that he can learn something new. The determination counts. If someone works hard, that person can improve eventually. So the first thing you need to do before sitting for IELTS exam, you need to understand yourself. Then your faults. If you're from Bengali medium background, it doesn't matter. Even if you're from madrasa background, it totally doesn't matter, because it has to be your confidence. The teacher won't give the exam. The teacher will show you a line, a way. They will give you guidance. They can never give you exam. No one can give you any guarantee. Okay, so the thing is, you need to understand your faults first. Then what's your motivation? What's your goal? What you need to get? 6, 6.57. Pick a goal. Then start working. You should start from home. You should start by learning some English vocabulary, some English movies. You should also listen to some English songs. Those things will be a little bit help for a bigger picture, because you can't be a very good teacher, can't be a very good speaker overnight. It takes time, sometimes weeks, sometimes months, sometimes even year. It's not the same for everybody. It depends, and it varies from person to person. And the thing is, they asked me something like, which one is more important, or which one? I actually mixed up the question.
No,
IELTS, PT, or
as you as no no no. Actually, we'll go for the difference between IELTS and PT. But before that, as you have said that some people they are thinking that if the people are out of from Dhaka or some that some of the cities apart from Dhaka, so they could be afraid for the IELTS. But on to be honest, to be very honest, that I know one person who is not from Dhaka. He was a student of a district level student, and after HSC he got IELTS. He got overall band score 8 out of
yeah, it's
9,
possible. Very
and
possible.
he got 9. He got 9 in speaking out of 9. So as you said that you should be confident and you should make it try, because as you said that if you don't try, then
Yeah, no
definitely
one can
you
give
won't
you the
understand
results.
that what kind of level. Yes. So you cannot go for that. Sometimes you are thinking that maybe you are like making yourself down by yourself. That is your problem. But I think if you should think, if you think a little bit positive, then definitely I think this score can be achievable.
So
And one more thing,
there is
Daniel, I need
another
to
small issue, if I may say, if you don't mind. In our
no
country,
problem,
the
please.
surrounding issues, whenever we are facing anything new, we go for suggestions. We just ask everybody that which one will be better for me, because we don't think that we are eligible to take our life's own decision. I have seen many people who does some, money wasting things. I won't say the whole thing. And they afterwards, when they think that it's actually wasting their time and money, then they look for someone authentic. So the thing is, if you just look for people who can give you advice, it's not wise actually. You have a smartphone, at least. Everyone have a smartphone these days. Google it.
Hmm.
If you want to know something, Google it, research it. We all do what? We all use Facebook, we all use Instagram, but we don't research things on online. We don't research on our own. We go to older people who give the solution. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Okay, but the biggest problem about it is generation gap. Our older brothers or older sister, even our parents, won't think the way we are thinking. Therefore, I'm the only entrepreneur in my family. Both of my parents are job holders, so they won't be able to think like me. Okay, I'm the only entrepreneur in my whole family, to be frank. So the thought pattern varies. It's never gonna be the same with the generations. So you need to be your own person. Okay, if you want to go abroad, go abroad. You should Google. You should try to find someone like Said Bhai. because they're authentic, they do this properly. If you want to do IELTS, you should come to me because I do things my way properly. Okay, so you need to study and research before just asking for suggestions. Study and research by yourself. This is the biggest mistake I have been struggling to make people understand for the last many years. Sorry, sir, please
Okay,
continue.
Daniel, no problem. So I just need to know one thing from you that actually in Bangladesh, because
Yes,
nowadays you know that Australia, Canada, USA, most of the universities they're asking for IELTS 6.5 overall,
yes,
no band less than 6, and most of the cases we can see that 6, no band less than 6. So in
yes.
Bangladesh, actually the average score it's very pretty tough to get average score 6.5. I mean, to among the so many people. So what do you think that why this gap? I mean, the number of 6.5 holders are quite less. So far I can see. Why this gap? Why people are always getting 5.5 or 6 or 5? Is it something like that? They are not trying hard or they are not focused
They're
on the
actually
studies?
trying over hard. They're actually trying over hard. Sorry, please continue, finish the question, please.
No, it's okay. I have finished my question. Yes.
They are actually trying over hard. The thing is, whenever anyone starts IELTS course, they actually overdo the thing. They don't just do, they overdo. Because I've been teaching IELTS since 2009, and I have seen many people just overdoing it. There are like, I take usually 6 to 7 students in each batch. So there are usually one or two students who always overdoes the thing. And there are always one or two students who just follow my footstep. So the thing is, when they're following my footstep, I usually try to teach them the techniques. And there are other ones, they don't follow any techniques, they just memorize the thing. They overdo stuff. At the end of the day, their hard work doesn't pay up. They eventually get 5.5, even 5. And the people who listen to the advice, they follow the shortcuts and tips techniques, they eventually get 7, 7.5, even 8 sometimes. Another issue when we are starting IELTS, we do some misconcept things. Like we start with reading and listening because there is a rumor in market. They are the main core facts in IELTS. They are the most important facts. They're the hardest parts. So the issue is something of opposite thing, because like spoken is the most important part in IELTS. Spoken, writing, listening, reading. Even I have made some videos on this thing. Let me explain it in short form. Say for when we were kids, the first thing we did when it was comes to Bangla, we started speaking. We started babbling about something, mama, papa, like something like that. Then we started drawing. Okay. Then we started understanding. This is a slang. This is a calling name. This is something good, something bad. Then we started reading, right? So that was our natural instincts. First spoken, then writing, then listening, then reading, right? So when it comes to IELTS, we do this opposite. We start with reading, listening, writing, then finally spoken. That's the main reason behind the bad score. Because if you do it properly according to the sequence, it will be easy and you will get a very good score without any hard work. In fact, not that much of a hard work.
Okay, another very important question I need to check. I mean, I need to cross check with you. That is that there are so many advertisements we can see in different channels like different medias that they are making the guarantee of getting a good IELTS score like 7 plus or 7.5, 6.5 plus is guaranteed in 7 days. Actually, what is the story behind this? I mean, is it possible
Actually, I
to
have
do the
been
things in
wondering.
the 6 days or 7 days, the guaranteed IELTS score? I mean, is there any special techniques for getting such kind of score within a couple of days? What do you think about it?
Actually, to be frank, I've been wondering the same question for last 1 decade because I've seen many people giving this kind of advertisement. Even I once tried to do this because it was a trend back then. Okay, the main issue is people try to attract people because the people in our country, Bangladesh, people think guarantee means that person is gonna do something magical to get you the good score. It's not like that. No one can give you any guarantee. Look, if anyone learns the technique, that person should do well, but there is no guarantee that person will do well because the teacher is not giving the exam. Say for I have 8.5 in spoken, there is no guarantee I will get 8.5 in the next time. Yeah, I might get 8, I might get 9 out of 9. There is no guarantee about anything. And there are some students of mine, I was pretty sure that person gonna get 7. There was this case that person got 6. There was another case I told him that if it will be a rare case or it will be a, unusual thing if you get 6 in spoken, that person got 7.5. So it's not in my hand or not on their student, not on the students either, because they have to face the situation on their own. The teacher might vary, the environment might vary, the question might vary. So I don't know how people give guarantees, but these are actually scandals. I won't say anything more than that. It's not actually possible.
Okay.
But
And,
there
and
is a
one more thing
thin line.
I need.
Please, please.
Okay, please. Okay, just to add with you, like as some more things like that. Sometimes I can feel that student is good in English. Definitely, I can see his speaking and writing skills is good, definitely good. But sometimes I can feel that when they're giving the IELTS exam, the final exam, sometimes they are not getting the expected score. Suppose
Yeah.
he's getting IELTS in the mock test, suppose 7.5 or 7, but in the main exam they are getting 6 or sometimes lower than that. So why this difference? I mean, what's the happening in the main exam that they are getting the less score? What could be the reason for that?
It's actually overconfidence, bhai, because the thing is, overconfidence can be very harmful for a lot of students. Even I saw it by myself once. There was a student
Mhm.
of mine who got 7.5 in 2 or 3 mock tests, and at the end of the day, he got 6 in his main exam because he got overconfident. It happens all the time, but there's another issue: mock test. When we are giving mock tests, we always look for the score. We never look for our flaws. We need to find our flaws, our
Exactly.
faults, and we need to work on them. After making it perfect, we should go for the main exam. We just look in the score. Yeah, I got 7.5. They never try to find out what was my fault that I lost that other score, other per. That's the main reason, because sometimes happens like the main question is based on that negative part, that first which was lost. Okay, so it can backfire on you, and sometimes the student just try to memorize the question pattern. They just give that many mock tests, they eventually memorize the whole pattern, but in the exam hall the patterns eventually shuffles. Like, as I'm ID registration partner, I get to see that the question patterns get changed all the time. There are like 48 exam in on average every year. There are like 24 patterns of questions, so you can never predict which one is gonna be the next exam. So there is no certain way of preparing for yourself. You just have to have a very relaxed head and proper preparation methods, and you should give some mock test. Before that, you need to understand your flaws and the techniques properly, because mock test will help you, but not gonna give you a guarantee to get a good score.
Okay, okay, Daniel. Actually, the thing you have you said. Actually, we are also facing such kind of problem that sometimes parents are were asking us that could you send my son to Canada? Yes, I can send. Okay, could you please send by September? Even I don't know the background. I mean, don't know his son's background, like CGPA or when his son have passed and what is the IELTS score. But he just want to know the answer, the specific answer. Can I send or not? So I was little bit embarrassed. I mean, I feel little bit confused and I feel very disappointing when someone is asking this kind of question that can you send my son to Canada without having any kind of backgrounds, without
Yeah,
knowing any background. So definitely I should say to the parents that that when you are asking this kind of question to someone else, so definitely the people will take the advantage of your question. So they will tell them that yes, I can send to your son whatever the background, doesn't matter. So first of all, you need to check your background. You need to research first what kind of background your son has and why where he is fitting, where he is adjusting perfectly. And our prominent policy is like we always focus on the students academic background, academic IELTS proficiency or English proficiency score, and of course the financial background. And based on that, we always advise. But we cannot advise someone actually who we don't know background anything, something like that. We can say yes, I can send you to Canada. So definitely, which is very important even for IELTS also. They should, and so far I believe that the people should take initiatives from the family itself to make the basement from the primary level. If they can make little bit, if they could advance in that part basement level, so I think it will help them to get the good band score in IELTS as well. So which is very important. What do you think about that, the level of
yeah,
basement? I mean, the
definitely,
basement.
definitely. There is not only the
Okay.
basement, there should be some psychological issues as well, because sometimes some guardian or even the student, they think we're selling products. You and me both. We are like selling IELTS certificate and you're selling the passport. They ask
Yes,
questions
yes.
like that. Some people sometimes calls me like, I have a month and can I get 7? I say, yeah, definitely,
Exactly.
but what's your education background? Then it's just completely awkward situation and they don't get to answer me the whole thing properly. And if I start talking with them in English, most of them just they can't speak properly. So it's an issue.
Exactly.
They need to understand themselves, then they need to approach. Yeah, that's my level. They need to assist themselves. That's my certificate. Then can I go? By then. That's the issue. They don't follow the proper procedure all the time.
Then we just will have a break of couple of minutes. We'll have a video of another success story of
Sure,
Canada. So we'll have the success story video, and then we'll come back to our next topics. Okay. So let's have the video.
হ্যালো ভিউয়ার্স, ওয়েলকাম টু টুডেজ ভিডিও। আমাদের আজকের ভিডিওতে আমার সাথে দিয়া আছে এবং দিয়ার আম্মু আছে। আসসালামু আলাইকুম, কেমন আছেন?
হাই, ভালো আছেন? হ্যাঁ, ভালো
দিয়া
আছি।
কেমন আছেন? ওকে, তো কাকে দিয়ে শুরু করব? ওকে, মাকে দিয়ে। কেন কিভাবে বলতে হবে?
একটু নার্ভাস
একটু নার্ভাস। এটা হবে? কিন্তু কেন চলে যাচ্ছে? নার্ভাস হলে হবে বলেন আপনি?
ঠিক আছে, ও যেটা যাচ্ছে অসুবিধা নাই।
তাহলে আন্টিকে দিয়ে শুরু করি।
হ্যাঁ, sure.
মানে অবশ্যই আপনাকে এটা জিজ্ঞেস করাটা এখন কোনো মানেই নাই যে কেমন লাগছে, বাট তারপরেও মানে একদিক থেকে টেনশন আর একদিক থেকে ভালো লাগছে। কেমন লাগছে বলুন?
ওভারঅল বলতে গেলে খুবই ভালো লাগছে, কারণ আমার অনেক দিনের স্বপ্ন, আমার মেয়ের, আমার ছোট বোনের ইচ্ছে ছিল আমার কানাডায় পড়াতে যাব, মানে হাই এডুকেশনের জন্য ও পড়তে যাবে ওখানে। তারপর মানে কি বলবো আপনাকে, লাকিলি ভাবে আমাদের মানে দেখা হলো প্রমিনেন্ট ইয়েতে, ফেয়ারে দেখা হলো, মানে চিনমৈত্রীতে, মানে ইউসুফ সাহেবের সাথে, প্রমিনেন্ট কনসালটেন্টের সাথে। উনি বলেছিলেন, আমি তখন দিয়াকে দেখে বললো যে ভাই আমার মেয়ে তো এরকম এরকম রেজাল্ট, এখন কি করব? উনি বললেন যে ঠিক আছে আমার অফিসে আসেন একদিন। আসলাম, তা আসার পরে ওনার এত সুন্দর গাইড, আমি মানে আপনাকে বুঝাতে পারবো না। ওনার জন্য মনে হয় আজকে আমার মেয়ে মানে পড়াশোনা করার জন্য কানাডায় যেতে পারছে আর কি।
সেটাই। তো মানে দিয়ার কেমন লাগছে স্যার? তুমি কোন ইউনিভার্সিটিতে যাচ্ছ?
খুব ভালো লাগছে। আমি যাচ্ছি ক্যানাডা কলেজ স্কারবোরো ক্যাম্পাসে।
আচ্ছা, তুমি কি তোমার পছন্দ মতো সাবজেক্টটা পেয়েছো?
হ্যাঁ,
কোন সাবজেক্টে যাচ্ছ?
বিজনেস অ্যাডমিনিস্ট্রেশন।
আন্টির কি স্বপ্ন যে ও পড়াশোনা করে কি তারপর মানে একটা স্বপ্ন থাকে না যে বাবা মার?
হ্যাঁ, আমার হচ্ছে গিয়ে ও কানাডায় যাবে, যাওয়ার পরে ও যত মানে হাই এডুকেশনের জন্য ওর পড়াশোনাটা মানে শেষ করবে, শেষ করে কিছু একটা তো হবেই, দেখা যাবে, এটা উপরওয়ালার ভরসা, সেটাই আর কি।
অনেক অনেক শুভকামনা থাকলো দিয়ার জন্য। দিয়া তো আর কিছুদিন পরেই ফ্লাই করছে ইনশাআল্লাহ। তো ভালো মতো প্রিপারেশন নাও এবং নতুন একটা কান্ট্রিতে নতুন একটা কালচারের সাথে যাচ্ছ, এবং সবাই তোমার মতো এত লাকি হয় না। যারা ভিডিও দেখবে তারাই চিন্তা করি আমি যদি যেতে পারতাম, কিন্তু ফ্যামিলির সাপোর্ট বা প্রপার গাইডলাইনের অভাবে হয়তো অনেকেই সেই স্বপ্নটা পূরণ করতে পারছে না। তো লাস্টলি কি আন্টি বা দিয়া কেউ মানে ভিউয়ারদের জন্য কিছু বলতে চাই?
আমি সবার প্যারেন্টসদেরকে বলতে চাচ্ছি, স্টুডেন্টদেরকে বলতে চাচ্ছি, যারা যারা হাই এডুকেশনের জন্য যেতে চাচ্ছে তারা অবশ্যই প্রমিনেন্ট কনসালটেন্ট আছে, ওনাদের সাথে যোগাযোগ করার জন্য। ওনারা প্রপারলি আপনাদেরকে গাইড করবে মানে যাওয়ার জন্য।
দিয়া কিছু বলতে চাও?
ওদের প্রমিনেন্ট কনসালটেন্টের সার্ভিসেস আমার খুব কাজে লেগেছে। দে আর ভেরি অথেন্টিক।
তুমি এখন ক্যানাডা থেকে গিয়ে ঠিকমতো পড়াশোনা করবে?
হ্যাঁ, করবো।
করবে ইনশাআল্লাহ। তো অনেক অনেক শুভকামনা থাকলো আন্টির জন্য এবং দিয়ার জন্য। আমরা যেন আরো ওখানে যাওয়ার পরেও যেন তোমার কাছ থেকে আরো নতুন নতুন ইন্সপিরেশন পাই। থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ।
Yes, it was just a video of a success story of our student for Canada. Actually, the student has said that the guideline, which is very important in your life, a perfect guideline can change your life forever, which is a very important. So whenever you are thinking for anything like IELTS or study abroad, anything, so you need to check out about the proper guideline, where you can get the proper guideline, because that's our duty. That's the duty of prominent consultant, to give you a better platform, to give you a better guideline, which can make you a trustable outcome, a comfortable outcome, and you can get the success very easily and in a smooth way, which is very important. So Daniel, will come to the your part that there are few English proficiency tests, like the IELTS is, TOEFL is there, Pearson test, PT is there, and some more are there. Actually, now Duolingo is also being accepted to so many in so many universities in Canada, Australia, and also in UK. So what's the basic difference between all these English proficiency tests like IELTS, TOEFL, and PT? And people are thinking that they have so many perceptions, like they are thinking the TOEFL is quite tough, IELTS is a bit easier, and there are a bit perception something like that the IDP IELTS is a bit easier than the British Council IELTS. So, I mean, in overall review, what will be your overall review on that?
Okay. The answer have to be honest because I am IDP registration partner, so I cannot take any sides. Okay, the first answer I will give, there is no actually basic difference between IDP or British Council. They are both co-owner of IELTS and equally they are working under Cambridge Board. The exam is actually conducted by the Cambridge Board, but they are actually just monitoring the thing. British Council and IDP doesn't have any authority over you. They just give you the paper and take the paper. The paper is actually checked by the teachers who are authorized by Cambridge. Okay, so IDP, British Council totally doesn't matter. The only difference you will face with IDP, you will get a headphone with wire, and British Council the wireless. That's the only big difference. There are no other big difference. Okay, and the thing is, when it comes to the difficulty level, actually it's generation, not the difficulty level. TOEFL is one of the oldest English testing system. And my father used to talk about this because he gave the exam once. And IELTS is like the most modern one, and PT is like more modern one. Okay, the thing is, you have to understand the value and the generation and other things requirement. Because if you are going for university, the university should have a website, and there will be it will mention there that they are asking for TOEFL, IELTS, or PT. They will at least mention there. Okay, you need to understand that first. Then you need to go for which exam they are requiring for. And if you have no requirements, then I would suggest you should go for IELTS. Not only because I'm an IELTS teacher, there is a difference between all of them. Okay, and when it comes to ranking or value, IELTS would be in the top because it is the only exam with the international value, and every country and every university in the world accepts it. TOEFL and PT have some requirements and some boundaries. Not every university is accepting at the moment, and in the future they might eventually ban those because they're backdated. And as you all know, the International English Language Testing System, as is abbreviation. So this exam is designed to understand your whole proficiency, your level, and all the things they need to assist as the person or as the English speaker or even as a good student. So this exam have some pretty authentic issues, or you should say scientific techniques to understand the student. The other exam doesn't have this. And when it comes to IELTS, you are gonna give an exam to a person who's gonna be both trained with psychology, English spoken, and many other qualities that can understand your level and assist you and give a good score. That's the main reason when it comes to IELTS result, the spoken score counts the most. If you have a good score in spoken, means you have a good level. I hope I cleared myself.
Yes. So I will have a couple of questions all together, so it will help you to give the answer. First of all, that there are two kind of IELTS, as we know, that one is academic and another one is general IELTS, like GT. So what's the basic difference between these two IELTS? And one more thing, that how the score does take place in IELTS, and of course another question, like the time distribution in each module. So would you please answer all these questions?
Okay, the time module, I should start with the last because I'm confused. Okay, I will go with the first one. Academic or general. Okay, the basic thing, the name difference, that means they work differently. When it comes to academic, you need to understand it's academic, student. When you're a student, you will go for honors, masters, or even undergrad diploma course. You need to go for academic. That will assist you as a student. Okay, academic have a different criteria of scoring, and it's actually organized and designed for students from 16 to 60. Okay, any age student can give this exam. There is no rules or boundaries. But when it comes to general, most of the students for this segment are usually well above 30 to 65 maybe. Okay, but the general exam is only designed for the people who are going for immigration or spouse visa and this kind of issues. And sometimes even some multinational companies, they're hiring people and they're asking for general degrees, because I have faced some guys like this. So they're completely different. Or even these have some other issues like UKVI. It varies. Okay, so the thing is, you need to understand which level you are. Are you student, or are you going for PR or immigration? And time issue and scoring. I will go to scoring first, because scoring is different when it comes to academic and general. Spoken and writing is completely same, listening completely same, but reading is completely different. In academic, there are actually 3 passages which are pretty big, and when it's general, the passage actually there are 5 passages, and they are comparatively a lot smaller and easier. So it's easier to get a better score in general. And when it comes to spoken exam, it's a little bit standard, not difficult, standard, because the teacher will know that the student is mature. So the questions will be a little bit more practical and mature. And it's easier to get a better score spoken when it comes to general IELTS. And in reading, writing, my mistake, writing exam, writing text one will be different, because in academic it will be pie, bar, line, table, and other type of diagrams. And when it will be in general, it will be letter application, sometimes recommendation, sometimes thanking letter. Okay, so it's easier. In a lot of ways, it's quite easier compared to academic. And time management is completely same for both exam. Spoken will be for 11 to 15 minutes, writing will be for 1 hour, reading will be for 1 hour, and listening will be for 30 to 45 minutes depending on the question.
Okay, so here I have some specific question on reading and writing, because so far I can see that people are doing very well in listening and speaking. They are getting like in speaking 7.5 or 8, sometimes 6.5, but in writing they are getting 5, 5.5 or like 6. So they are getting very low score in writing. That is one point, and even sometimes reading as well. And I mean, unfortunately, most of the universities IELTS score, if you see the required score, they don't compromise about the writing part. So they are very very strict about the writing part required score. The student should have at least 6 in writing. So why this is happening? Why they are getting low band score in writing? What could be the policy or techniques to get a good score in writing?
Okay, the answer, if I answer the whole thing in a very simple pattern, the student should focus on the language pattern, not only on the writing structure or vocabulary. They should focus on the language. This is the key reason that most of the students lose their score. I've seen many students with very poor score with very high vocabulary, and I have seen many students with very high score with very simple vocabulary. But the only big difference was in the language pattern, the information, the language. That's the main issue. When it comes to talking, it's very easy to speak. But when it's writing, it's not changeable. You don't have any physical appearance there. You need to make the whole concept understandable to the teacher by words. In here, you can see my face. I can move my hand. But in writing, your words cannot move. They have to be moved by the language. Okay, the teacher need to be moved by the language pattern. The language should have a little bit like poetry type of pattern. I'm not saying it's write a poet, be a poet, write something complex, but you need to understand the topic, and based on the topic, you need to maintain the whole pattern, sequence, information, logics, and that will be easier for you to get a good score in writing. And another issue that I already described before, if you need a good score in writing and reading, you need to follow the sequence. You need to be good in spoken, listening, reading, writing. And the issue is, if you're good in spoken, you should be good in both listening and writing, because they're connected. If you can speak, you can write. You should be able to write. And if you have some issues, and then you need to be sorted out with a good teacher. Okay. Sorry.
Okay,
If you
and
have an issue with, please, any
please
question
carry
there?
on.
Uh,
No, no,
Sorry,
miss,
if you have
please.
issue with reading, you need to be good in listening first, because listening and reading have like 50 to 40% similar question pattern. Okay, if you're not good when listening, I mean good means it have to be at least 7 or 7.5. If you're in that level in listening, you should be getting 6 or 6.5 in reading very natural or easily. And if you're good in both spoken, listening and writing, reading should be a piece of cake. Okay, you need to have some basics on those sectors first. Then you should be concerned about reading and writing. And in writing, you need to understand the question first. I've seen many students, they just read the question not even till the end, just half of the question they start writing. They sometimes skip some important words. And in IELTS exam, the question is in like puzzles or riddles. You need to understand the whole question, the whole concept. Are the teacher confusing you, or the answer, the information is straightforward? It can be in passive voice. Sometimes the main question can be in the at the end. It can vary. You need to understand that first before sitting for IELTS exam. You just don't need to memorize anything here. You have to have a clear conscience. You need to have to understand the thing first. I hope I made myself clear.
No, it's okay. And just few things I need to know from you, that you have been working as an IELTS instructor since 2009, and you are successfully running a company like Quality Education Zone. And you know that I have seen, I am in touch with so many IELTS instructor and IELTS centers. So, and I can see their students are enrolling for IELTS, like they are taking admission to do the classes or to do the training session. But after a couple of months they are leaving, just they are escaping from the the having the main test. So why this is happening? Why they are becoming, why they're escaping or ignoring the test, the official test? And how is your average students score, like from your center? And what kind of success or achievements you have from your company?
Okay, the first question was priceless. Why the student are living in the middle? Is actually a priceless question. I have been trying to resolve this problem for a very long time, and personally, I think I kind of resolved in my institution. Well, the first issue is lack of determination. First issue, because the problem actually the problem lies in both sides, both in the teacher side and in the student side. In the student side, it's lack of determination. If you think it's tough, you're just quitting. You eventually will never be successful. If you think it's tough, you're quitting. It's not gonna help. Not in job, not in girlfriend, not in IELTS. So you have to have some determination and motivation. It's the first issue. Second, there are some business institution in the market, like they are taking hundreds of students. I won't name them. There are some pretty well-known institutions with multiple branches. They're taking dozens upon dozens of students in each batch. And the issue is, if I may explain my way of teaching, IELTS batch should not have more than 10 or less than 3 students. And that's the policy I follow. You should not have more than 10 or less than 3 students. That's the proper number of students you should have in each class. Okay, and I have been following this from the beginning of my coaching center or coaching running time. Okay, but in most of the institutions, there are like 20, 30, 50, hundreds of students in each batch. So when the student is asking any question, he or she is not getting sufficient time. And that is a very big negative issue when it comes to the student, because he or she is thinking, I'm not eligible to ask the question. The teacher might get disturbed. The teacher might shout at me, and I might find myself silly. I might ask some silly questions. So that's a very big issue. A teacher needs to be friendly. It's a very unusual thing to find, because these days we find teachers who are mostly of my father's age or even well above that. So teachers should be young like me. They can be friendly. It is a very big issue, which I personally think. Another thing, they don't give the final exam, because by the middle of the course, if you go to some institution, you will find they are teaching just grammar. In the name of IELTS, they are only teaching grammar and vocabulary. After 2 or 3 months of teaching this easy thing, when they start IELTS, they start with reading and listening. And the student panics. It's so tough, I cannot handle this. And they eventually leave. This is kind of a cheap way of marketing. They just focus on the money. They don't focus on the teaching. That's the reason. And if I come to the last reason of quitting in the middle, again, lack of determination, lack of parents' guidance, because sometimes the parents are just getting them to some institution. They are not properly contacting with the teacher. Even sometimes I have to call some of my students' guardian. He or she is not properly coming to classroom. They are not doing perfectly. Please look after them. And that is one of the reasons some of my students hates me a lot, because I take all of their guardians' number if they're well below 20. I take all of their guardians' number. I call them sometimes, at least once or twice a month. It is a helpful technique. You need to follow that. Guardian have to be, actually not need to, they have to be connected with the teacher, because they're kids. They do something silly. Even I did something silly in my student life. So this is another issue. So guardian need to connect with the teacher.
Exactly. And one more thing I just want to mark here, like as you said that the teachers should be young, like you, and someone like you young. So I'm not so I don't accept this in some cases, because
I'm not
the
saying I'm the only teacher. There are other good teachers too.
I'm just saying, like, that if you compare with the foreign universities teacher, they are very older, but their
Yeah.
attitude, their behavior is quite friendly, very friendly. So if you have seen our the past mayor of Dhaka Uttar, like Mr. Anisul Haq, even he was an older
He is a very
person,
gentleman.
but
I know.
his achievement, I mean, his approach and everything was so younger than us. So I would say, so I think that through the age, people cannot becoming older. Through the mind setup is very
The mind
important.
gets older.
Yes, the mind
And
gets older. That's the thing.
the issue is, I'm not saying it like that. The issue is, in our country, the teacher don't get the proper respect. Okay, when
Exactly.
supposedly, if I talk about myself, I'm like almost 30 now. So if I'm working very hard now. So after by the time I will be 60, I'm sure I will be pretty much well known. Many people will come to me, but I don't think I will be able to talk like this by then, because I will be pretty less, energetic. I will be old. I will not have this much patience. I'm talking about actually that. And another thing I forgot to mention about my institution, the reason I brag about being young, that I think that helped my students to be friendly with me, because if anyone go through my reviews, they will find that Denova is very friendly. They just call me very friendly. This is another reason I think it's a helpful thing to have friendly behavior with students, and that helped my students to get a very good score. Most of my students get at least 7 spoken. If the overall score is 6 or 6.5, most of them have 7 or 6.5, or even sometimes 8 in spoken. This is one of the plus point of my institution. And most of the students have average 6.5, 6. If the student is attentive and sincere, this is the case. If they are not sincere, look, sometimes I have some bad apples. It's natural, it's human nature. But most of the cases, they're good. If they listen, that's the issue.
Exactly. And I would like to add some more thing, as you have said correctly, because when the class size is more, like in a class, when the 100 people or 50 people are doing classes in a single classroom, so definitely sometimes who are really weak in English, who are really
They won't
weak
get
in
in
the
that attention.
part, they won't get in that they won't get attention of the teacher, and sometimes they feel afraid to ask something in front of so many people, which is very important. And actually, IELTS and the education is not a machine of money making. It should be always, definitely it could be a profession, but we should take care of we should that proper grooming. We should do the proper grooming of students, that level of knowledge. So it's a very important thing, it's a very sensitive thing, and very, that we should take care of the students, the knowledge and all this career as well. And one more thing I need to, as you said very correctly, that definitely when the teacher becomes old, or sometimes when the teachers are like above 50, so sometimes students are feeling that maybe that he could not be cooperative in such way that a 30 years or for 35 years a guy or a teacher can help it out. So definitely it depends on the mind setup, depends on the intention, because I should think that the IELTS trainer or a IELTS instructor or a teacher must think in that way, that they should properly take care of the students grooming. Like they should be very friendly with the student, that at least students should not be afraid to disclose their problem, which is very important. Because I believe that to get a success in any field, first of all, students should find out the problems where they are facing the trouble, and they should recover all the problems one by one. Then I think they can find out some solution for the success. So definitely we will have one more video of our success story of prominent for Canada. So after the success story video, then we'll come back to our next topic.
Sure.
So let's have the video.
Hello everyone, this is Borsha once again and welcome to another episode of Successful Story. এবং আজকের সাকসেসফুল স্টোরি বলতে আমাদের সাথে আছে মনীষ সাহা। আমরা তার পথ চলার গল্পটা শুনবো এবং শুনবো তার সাকসেসফুল হওয়ার গল্পটা। সো হ্যালো মনীষ, কি অবস্থা? Okay, so definitely you are very excited to get the visa and all that. অবশ্যই। তো তার আগে তুমি তোমার গল্পটা আমরা শুনবো, তার আগে তুমি আমার ভিউয়ারদেরকে তোমার পরিচয়টা এবং নামটা।
আমি মনীষ সাহা, আমি সিলেট থেকে and I've studied আনন্দনিকেতন and I've completed my A levels.
আচ্ছা, সো এ লেভেলসে তোমার রেজাল্ট কেমন ছিল?
A levels এর রেজাল্ট এত ভালো ছিল না, অনেকটা খারাপই ছিল বলতে গেলে। এই জন্য আর কি একটা লাইক ফিউচার স্টাডিজ এর জন্য
ইউ আর লাইক
really
একটু
tensed and
টেন্স ছিল,
confused
হ্যাঁ। তো তারপরে ডেফিনেটলি মানুষ তোমাকে বলেছে যে এই রেজাল্টে
অবশ্যই অনেক মানুষ বলেছে যে এটা এই
হ্যাঁ।
রেজাল্ট নিয়ে কিছু করা যাবে না,
হ্যাঁ।
আর অ্যাপ্রোড তো প্রশ্ন ওঠে না।
প্রশ্নই আসে না। তো তারপরে তুমি সাহসটা কোথায় পেলে যে আমি অ্যাপ্লাই করবো and I will get it?
আমি নিজে থেকে অনেকটা ডিপ্রেস ছিলাম and লাইক কোনো ওয়ে পাচ্ছিলাম। সো লাইক আমার একটা ফ্রেন্ড ছিল, সে কারেন্টলি ক্যানাডা আছে, সে আমাকে এই কনসালটেন্টের ব্যাপারে জানায়, প্রমিনেন্ট কনসালটেন্ট, এন্ড ওইটার সাহায্যে আমি এখানে আসি এন্ড দে গাইডেড মি।
রাইট, তোমার এরপরে তো ইউ গট দ্য IELTS, রাইট?
Yeah.
তো IELTS রেজাল্ট কেমন ছিল?
আইএলটিএস ছিল 7.5।
তোমার IELTS রেজাল্ট ওয়াজ ভেরি গুড। সো ফাইনালি তোমার জার্নিটা কেমন ছিল প্রমিনেন্টের সাথে ওভারঅল?
প্রমিনেন্টের সাথে জার্নি অনেক স্মুথ ছিল। দে হ্যাভ গাইডেড মি ইন এভরি সিঙ্গেল স্টেপ। তারা সবকিছু আমাকে জানাই দিচ্ছে, সবকিছু আমার যা জানতে হবে তাদেরকে জানতে হবে আমি জানাইছি, এন্ড তারা এভরি স্টেপ বাই স্টেপ কমপ্লিট করছে, এন্ড ইট ওয়াজ আ সাকসেস।
ডেফিনেটলি তুমি কতদিনের মাথায় ভিসাটা পেলে?
আমি ভিসা পেয়েছি 18 days।
গ্রেট।
That
সো
was really early.
ওকে, দ্যাটস সো গ্রেট। সো যারা আসলে তোমার ভিডিওটা দেখে, যেসব স্টুডেন্টরা তোমার মতো করে এখন হতাশায় আছে, রাইট? তুমি যেরকম বলে যে তুমি অনেক ডিসঅ্যাপয়েন্টেড ছিলে, সো যারা এখন হতাশায় আছে তারা তো ডেফিনেটলি ভিডিওটা দেখে একটু ইন্সপায়ার হবে এবং ভাববে যে কিভাবে প্রসিডিউরগুলো করা যায়। সো তুমি কিভাবে প্রিপারেশনগুলো নিয়েছিলে, তুমি যদি শেয়ার করো।
সো আমি ফার্স্টে এ লেভেলস কমপ্লিট করার পর আমার রেজাল্টটা এত ভালো আসে নাই। সো আই ওয়াজ রিয়েলি ডিপ্রেসড, এন্ড মানুষ হয় কি মানুষ অনেক কিছু বলে, সো ওই কথাগুলো আরো ডিপ্রেস করে দেয়। বাট নেভার লুজ ফেথ ইন ইউর সেলফ। সব দের ইজ আ ওয়ে ফর এভরিথিং, এন্ড যেহেতু এই জন্যই এই কনসালটেন্ট গুলো এই জন্যই ইয়ে করা, তোমাকে গাইড করবে, সবাইকে গাইড করবে, দে উইল গিভ ইউ আ ওয়ে ফর ইউর ফিউচার। এন্ড আমাকে প্রমিনেন্ট কনসালটেন্ট গাইড করছে, এন্ড মেবি তোমাদের জন্য অন্য কেউ থাকতে পারে, বাট আই উইল রিকমেন্ড ইউ দিস is really good consultant agency, and overall যে কখনোই নিজে থেকে হোপ হারানো উচিত না।
ওকে, আমি একটা জিনিস জিজ্ঞেস করতে ভুলে গেছি যে তুমি কোন ইনস্টিটিউশনে যাচ্ছ এবং কোন কোর্সে এবং কোন ইনটেকের জন্য?
আমি কলম্বিয়া কলেজে যাচ্ছি ফর সেপ্টেম্বর 2019 and for ইউনিভার্সিটি প্রিপারেটরি প্রোগ্রাম।
ওকে, এটা কতদিনের প্রোগ্রামটা হবে?
এটা হবে টোটাল 2 years। ফার্স্ট ইয়ার ফাউন্ডেশন কোর্স হবে, এন্ড সেকেন্ড ইয়ার লাইক ইউনিভার্সিটি ফার্স্ট ইয়ার মতো স্টার্ট হয়ে যাবে।
ওকে, সো বেস্ট উইশেস ফর ইউ মনীষ, অনেক এবং অফকোর্স বেস্ট অফ লাক এন্ড কংগ্রেচুলেশনস, যেহেতু তুমি এত অল্প দিনে আর্লি একটা টাইমের মধ্যে ভিসা পেয়েছো। সো তুমি তো ভেরি সুন ফ্লাই করছো, রাইট?
আমার ফ্লাইট হবে কি 2nd সেপ্টেম্বর।
ওকে, সো বেস্ট উইশেস এবং খুব ভালো মতো যাও, খুব তোমার জন্য অনেক শুভকামনা। আর এনি লাস্ট ওয়ার্ড ইউ ওয়ান্ট টু শেয়ার উইথ ভিউয়ার্স উইথ ক্যান?
Obviously যে আমি আগে বলছি যে never lose faith in yourself and stick to what you do, like be strong in your
exactly
opinion.
Thank you so much for joining Monish. See you. ওকে, শুনলাম আমরা মনীষের সাকসেসফুল হওয়ার গল্পটা। আপনার সাকসেসফুল হওয়ার গল্পটা শোনার জন্য অপেক্ষায় রইলাম।
See here, the young boy, he was rightly said that I was very frustrated. He was very disappointed because the surrounding people were saying so many negative things to him, but he never lose his hopes, and he told that definitely there is some way to find out. So you need to keep patience and need to be stick in your determination, and definitely you will find out some solution. And definitely prominent consultant really will be with you always. Daniel is here, is a very young star, and like we people are here to give you some way to find out for your career. Just believe in us, trust in us, definitely you won't be disappointed. So Daniel, actually I have asked so many questions to you, regarding IELTS and everything. So if you have any question, you can ask me regarding
Sure. I
study
have
abroad
actually
or
a bunch
anything.
of them. Well,
Please.
the issue that we are facing this pandemic, I have actually received a dozen of phone calls till now. There are some students who are saying, can they go abroad after their SSC examination by doing IELTS? Is there any possibility of going abroad?
Yes, actually SSC means like class 12. We are saying that class 10. So not class 12, it's
10, yeah.
class 10. And of course it's like in other parts we can say O levels, or like that madrasa board, it is said dakhil, I think dakhil, it is said
Dakhil, yeah.
dakhil. So like from after class 10, definitely we have so many solutions, like as we working for Malaysian university, so they have very fantastic foundation program. So after 1 year foundation program, they can go for the bachelor first year, or they can do diploma program, 2 years diploma program after class 10. And after 2 years program, they can enroll in the second year of bachelor program. So what's happening, that in HSC they are spending 2 years of time in HSC level, higher secondary level, but when they are doing Malaysia, the same program, so they are spending only 1 year. So they are just saving their time and money through this foundation program. And even if they do 2 years diploma as well, so in that case they don't need to do first year of bachelor, so they can directly join to the second year of bachelor. This is the pattern of Malaysian education. And of course from O levels, the students can choose the foundation program in UK as well, United Kingdom. So they can do the 1 year foundation program in UK, and they can, after that they can join to the bachelor course first year. And definitely we have a very fantastic program in Canada. So we have international foundation year, we have high school diploma program, so students can do 1 year foundation program, and after that they can join to university level in the second year. And also they can do high school diploma also, they can do 2 years of high school diploma, I would say, like class 11 and 12. And after that they can join to the university program. So there are a lot of options for class 10 students. I would say don't be that frustrated about that. We prominent really have a lot of options for you. So just feel free to communicate with Daniel, and definitely we'll be in touch with you.
Another question related to this topic. What is the minimum score requirement in SSC CGPA? What is the minimum score requirement in SSC and IELTS? Can you please enlighten the student?
SSC, yes, for SSC, I would say that if it is above 50%, it's better. Above 50%, like I would say 55 or in bit 60, something like that. Academic average, it could be fine. That's very perfect. And IELTS score, I would say, like if they have 6, it's better. 5.5 is still accepted, but 6, if they have 6, it's better. But 5.5 also you can take for Canada also, and for UK as well.
Sure. Okay. Sir, if anyone if is going through some big study gap, say for after HSC or after SSC, you got the point, study gap. Is that a big issue in foreign countries applying? Suppose, let me tell you a scenario. A student of mine had a 3 years gap before honors. After HSC, 3 years gap, then he did honors, and he's trying for masters. Is that an issue?
I mean, after HSC, he had a
three-year gap. 3-year gap. Then he did honors.
Honors. No, it's okay. I think this gap won't be a problem, because after that he has completed HSC. But the problem where it happens, like suppose after HSC he has a gap of 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, but he did not do any bachelor or any program, so it will be a problem, definitely.
Okay.
And after bachelor, and I would say after bachelor, if someone is having work experience like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, it is also okay. It's very perfect for the master's program.
Okay. If anyone is trying for immigration, is there an issue, or is there an age limit? Because this is frequently asked question by a lot of my students.
I'm really afraid of saying anything about immigration, because I'm not such an immigration consultant. I'm not permitted to say something about immigration, but so far I know that in Canadian immigration side, or there are certain criteria, certain points criteria. They should have 2 years or 1 year or 3 years of work experience. They should have certain points in IELTS. They should have certain points in terms of age, in terms of level of education. So they need to check the points in the website, because if you look into the Canadian immigration system, there is called like CRS system, like they can check their points in that part according to their background. But actually I don't want to say so many things about immigration, because I'm not expertise on that.
Okay. One last question of mine, that if anyone is applying for January session, say for, which is the best time for anyone to start processing?
Actually, depends country to country. But if you say about Canada, so we have January is called winter session, and for Canada, if someone is planning to go for Canada, so definitely I would say, especially for master's program, the master's program we have in January, so they need to start the processing right away, right now. And for bachelor and other postgraduate diploma, they can start. I think they can apply within August. Would be fine.
Okay, I forgot to add a question. Can student apply without IELTS, or they have to submit the file with IELTS?
Okay, in terms of UK, they can apply without IELTS for a conditional offer letter, and in the condition, it will be mentioned that they need to get the final unconditional offer letter. They need to submit the IELTS score. The same thing is in Canada. So they can, but for master's program and diploma programs, we cannot apply without IELTS. But for bachelor programs, some universities they are accepting conditional offer letter without IELTS, but definitely after a couple of months or before the visa application or before getting the final letter of acceptance, they should submit the IELTS score. Even if they have low band in score in IELTS, lower than the required level of score, then they can get the ESL program for that, the English language program.
Well, I have heard a lot of rumors about ESL course. Actually, how long does it take and how much might it cost?
Actually, ESL program, there is nothing about rumor. ESL program is like English as a second language. Suppose if I give an example, if you check like the Canadian education system, for example, in bachelor courses, their requirement is 6.5 overall and no band less than 6. But someone is having IELTS overall 6 and no band less than 5.5, which is a one band lower than the required score. So they can do one term ESL program, and they can it will cost like around for 4,500 to 5,000 Canadian dollar for one term. One term is equal to 4 months. Sometimes they divide into weeks like 15 weeks, 20 weeks, 25, 24 weeks. Sometimes they follow in that way. But yes, ESL program does cost a lot because 4,500 it's a huge amount in Bangladeshi taka. Instead of that, he can give 5 times IELTS for that. So it's even lower than that fees. So I would recommend that it's better to give IELTS, because why should I spend 3 lakh taka for a English to improve my IELTS score? So I can give 2-3 times IELTS with the payment of only $500, and I can give 2 or 3 times IELTS and get the score. So it's better. But still, the way is open. Student can go, because sometimes that there is big difference between ESL and IELTS. Because when someone is going to do the ESL in a Canadian environment, so they will be learning something new. So with the Canadian culture, Canadian education system, the Canadian people, how they are doing the English program. So actually ESL will give them some additional, the additional features. Suppose when they are doing IELTS in Bangladesh, so they won't get that kind of flavor that they will get in Canada. So if they spend a good amount in Canada, definitely the advantage will be more, without any doubt.
I mean, there are both pros and cons depending on the person's
exactly perception. because Daniel, you need to check one thing. Suppose once a student is going to a different countries like Canada, UK or Australia, which are very rich countries, and the people always talk in English, they are very fluent in English. And when students always go to this kind of countries, so first couple of months they are a little bit nervous, they feel a little bit nervous, there are some homesickness, so they cannot follow the main classes. So if they do some English program as well over there, so they can adjust themselves within this couple of months, which is also very important. So the foundation pre-sessional, sometimes for the weak students, I'm not saying that who are capable, who are strong in English, for them don't need, but those who are a little bit weak, those who are a little bit nervous, those who have a low level of confidence, they can choose this kind of foundation level of courses, ESL or foundation program, to improve themselves for the main program. If you see, we have seen a lot of students are not passing exam in bachelor level. Why this is happening? Because they cannot adjust properly. So if they do some foundation program before starting the main course, it will help them to grooming them up.
good enough. Which country? I mean, as far as I know, you guys have a very good ratio with Australia and Canada, right? Which is the best
Australia,
region?
UK, and Canada.
Yeah, quite a few countries. But personally, I see most of my students are interested in Canada, and I have like 100 of students in Regina. So the thing is, which is the most trending place at the moment? Which is the most many? I mean, highlighting place the student want to go in Canada.
Actually, there are quite differences between three countries because if you see the Canadian education, it's completely North American education. So some people they always their expectation is to get a North American degree because North American degree means like US, Canada, and in Bangladesh, if you see the North American degree has the great demand in Bangladesh because in our the private universities, public universities, most of them are following the North American curriculum. And in terms of the UK education, always it's British education. It's a very old pattern, old education, and the British education has a very the high standard education they have. So it depends. The even Australia also they have a lot of top ranking universities in the world. If you talk about University of Sydney, if you talk about some other good universities from Australia, there are also top ranked universities in the world. So people has it depends on the individual choice. Canada, why it becomes popular? Because of the immigration friendly. Because Canada is such a country which is very immigration friendly, immigrant friendly. এবং, they always treat people very friendly, very welcoming. They are treating people like a they're very welcoming. And in terms of other countries like UK and Australia, it's quite tough now to get the PR, but in Canada it is quite easier. And after doing because just one example I am giving you, in Australia you need to finish a degree to get the post study work permit, like you need to have a bachelor or master degree. But in Canada, even though if you are completing a diploma or a 1 year diploma or 1 year certificate or 1 year diploma or 2 years diploma, even though you can get the post study work permit, which is not possible in Australia and UK. So in that case, Canada is becoming quite popular regarding the post-study work permit and immigration process purpose.
Those are all the questions I had actually. If you have any other questions for me, then.
Okay, so for you, I just need to ask some question that one thing that what is the techniques to improve themselves in the speaking part? Because some students we can see they are very good in writing, but they cannot speak well. So how they can improve their speaking part, and and also that how I mean, sometimes students are saying that to us that how long it takes to for a IELTS course. I mean, to do a IELTS course. Most of the institutions they are running for a IELTS course like 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months maximum. So actually, what's the review on that of yours review?
Okay, I will start with the last part because that's the very interesting answer. Well, it depends on the teacher mainly. In this fact, the teacher actually matters because I have courses from 15 days, 1 month to maximum 2 months. I don't go above that. Okay, if necessary, I give some extra classes to the student after registration for IELTS. Actually that's extra, not including the course. The issue is you need to have the dish when it's warm. It don't have the same flavor when it's cold, right? So when it comes to preparation, you need to have it in a rush. If you go too relaxed with it, you will eventually lose the edge because it becomes boring, it becomes dull. Okay, so you need to have a rush, but there's the issue. Not everyone can do the course in 15 days. Not everyone can do it in the 1 month. Okay, so a good student can start and finish it within 15 days, even in a month. But if for an average student or even a weak student, it should be enough for like 2 months or more, no more than 2.5 months. It's more than enough. And also the spoken part, spoken actually varies. Okay, so if you're from a Bengali background, Bengali medium background, or your environment is fully based on Bangla, you don't have the opportunity of speaking any other language with Bangla. Say in my case, I don't get to speak any other language but Bangla in my environment, so I'm having some issues these days. So when you're talking in an environment where you get to listen some English, you don't have to have a partner. There is an issue. I have a Facebook group where I get a common question asked. I need a spoken partner. Okay, this is the most funniest question I get all the time. I need a spoken partner. I need a a writing person. I don't understand why people look for persons all the time. They should go to some matrimonial site for that. But the thing is, when it comes to IELTS, you don't actually need a partner. Okay, it has to be on your own. You have to have some confidence on your own. So if you're talking with yourself, you have option. You have a mobile phone. You can record yourself. You can listen to yourself. It is a good approach. First, second, if you don't have a issue with speaking, you have some issues with understanding the thing. You should start with listening to music, going with some books, some movies, some TV series. If those are difficult for you, go with some cartoons, animations. I have seen a lot of animations: Kung Fu Panda, Big Hero 6, Avatar. Go with all the things that are understandable for you. Okay, if you go with the easy ones, the standard ones will eventually be easy for you. Because a lot of students ask me, how long it will take me for to improve in my spoken part. Actually, it's not fixed, it's not set in stone. It takes time, sometimes months, sometimes even a year. I have found many students after finishing the course they become better. Okay, so I in the exam that person got 6, and when I'm talking to him after a year, that person is even better than me. So it happens, it takes time, it doesn't grow overnight. Okay, so it will take time.
Okay. So Daniel will have his last video of one of our success stories. So we'll have the video and then we'll come for the next topics. Okay.
Sure. Video, just
Hello viewers, I'm Saima Haq from Prominent Consultant. I'm a peer and brand executive. Today we have a special guest, Mr. Kamal Hussain. He just got his visa recently. He's going to go for his postgraduate diploma in Canada College. So I would like to congratulate him. Congratulations. So Mr. Kamal, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Happy that actually because I got the visa. My state government approved.
Okay, that is great. So we would like to know about your experience, the whole experience. How about you tell us about your background?
Yeah, I'm from Bragg University. I completed computer science engineering from there in 2016. I was doing like job in as a software developer in software company and also as an IT officer in another company. Then I started thinking that I should pursue higher education. Like I want to move fully to programming. That's why I have tried.
You've come here.
Yeah, I've come here to go to study for Canada.
So you basically completed your undergraduate, you have a work experience, then you
Yes.
applied for
Yeah.
Canada. Okay, so why did you choose Canada for your high school?
Canada is right now like the heaven for students. Its education quality is top most, and of course, its colleges and universities, all in all sectors, the education quality is better than many of the other countries, and also the immigration process is lot further and easier, and because they're helping students to get into their
It's a
visa
very
system.
friendly
Yeah,
country,
friendly country, and also
multicultural.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So can I know about the university or the college you're going for?
Yeah, I'm going to Canada College, Mississauga campus, for the mobile application development program.
Okay. So this is the Canada College he's going for. If you guys are interested, you can also apply through us. We are the direct partner with Canada College. So now, what about the intake? You are going for
I'm
which
from
intake?
January 2020.
Okay, January. That's not much time left for you. What are you doing?
I'm just now preparing for my flight. That
Okay.
I have lots of things to shop now. It's going to be a hard winter
You
there.
must be excited.
Yeah, of course I'm excited, but as well there is going to be a harsh winter there, so
Okay.
I have to be prepared to
Okay.
face that.
So about the English proficiency test, did you take any tests?
Yeah, I have taken TOEFL before,
Okay.
and when I came to consult with prominent consultant, then I was suggested that I should take IELTS or PTE.
PTE.
Then I took PTE, and
Okay.
I applied with that score.
Okay. Well, that's good. So, how long did it take to get your visa? Like,
Uh, when from file submission, it took like 17 days to get
Just
my
17 days.
visa
That's
approved.
very
Yeah,
fast.
yeah, that's fast. I heard that if all the documents are good, then the process is much
Okay.
shorter and easier.
Yeah. So I would like to know about the person who inspired you to go for Canada.
It's my family. Like my sister already is living in USA. Has done her MBA from there and doing job there. So she and my father also insisted me that I should go for higher studies abroad.
Okay. So how did you got to know about us?
I actually searched for a university representative. Like contacted.
Which university?
I contacted Wilfred Laurel University, and they
Laurel?
said that they have representative here, and they told me to search for you guys, and then I come here and there I saw that I was suggested that actually there are lots of more options there that I wasn't aware of that. Then I found out that there are colleges there are also offering such kind of programs.
Okay. So how did you like our service?
Yeah, it's of course top to the notch because you guys guided me through the whole process, like from applying to colleges and from to arrange my file to submitting the for the visa processing, and also like you guys, what actually mostly uh, inspired me to work with you guys is that you guys always showed that you do the right thing for the visa process. Like I was first when I came here, you guys already insisted me that I should get the English test result, otherwise the process.
For example, IELTS,
Yeah,
PTE,
yeah.
these courses. Okay. So before we proceed further, I would like to mention this that students have a confusion about the postgraduate diploma and the colleges, that they think that visa might be an issue if they go for colleges or postgraduate diplomas. But this is not an issue as he got his visa within just 17 days. So what about that? And also, what is your? Do you have anything to say about the?
Actually, doesn't depend on university or colleges. If your papers are okay, all right, that you're applying legitimately, like you don't giving hiding or anything like information, everything is okay. Then you will get the, of course, you will get the visa.
Okay. So, do you have anything to say about prominent consultant?
Yeah, of course, they help me to arrange my file, and they help me to apply to through the colleges. And of course, if you don't getting time, or you are busy or you don't know what actually that how to process for the Canada study in Canada, you should contact them, right? In prominent consultant, they will guide you to the right process and right way.
Okay, so thank you for the interview, and also congratulations again for your visa, and I hope you have a bright future. And thank you guys for being with us. And I would like to say that if you have any inquiries about Canadian universities and colleges, you can inbox us in our Facebook page, and you can also subscribe our YouTube channel. And I hope you can keep an eye on our pages. Thank you.
Yes, it was another video of a success story of a student for postgraduate diploma program in a college, in a public college in Canada. So people have definitely have a misconception about the college degree or a diploma degree, but definitely we had a lot of such stories for college. So don't worry about that. Just be with prominent. So we will guide you in a proper way. So Daniel, actually we are just end of the live session. So uh, do you have any points that I have missed out to ask you, and anything you'd like to say finally to the viewers? Any kind of points you need to
There
point
was a
out?
little bit I think I should explain.
Hmm.
Well, the students, well, comes to IELTS, not your sector immigration. When it comes to IELTS, students have some misconception about books. They just go through a bunch of books and they think the books will teach you. But the thing is, the books are actually for practicing. The books won't ever teach you anything when it comes to IELTS. All the books that can be found in the market, like from book 1 to book 14, which can also be found in my Facebook group for free. The books are actually going to help you to practice. Okay, the practice can make you better, but that practice can only help you when you have some ideas about the techniques, the methods, the proper procedures. Okay, but the books are not going to help you like all the other sectors that you have already done. IELTS is not like memorizing and vomiting on the exam. You have to have some proper qualification and understandability of the situation. Otherwise it won't work that well. Okay, and if anyone wants some more advice besides this video, I have a YouTube channel with the same name, Quality Education Zone. That might be a little bit helpful. I hope Bhaiya doesn't mind for me to advertise at my own institution. Okay, so I think
Exactly.
that's all I have to say.
Exactly. And dear viewers, actually, this is a live session, and you are facing like two people. One is working for a study abroad, and the one is working for IELTS. So you could, if you would have any question, finally, so you can ask me. We can answer on live. And still, if you are watching this live video, it will be in our timeline, also in the live timeline of Quality Education Zone, or in their YouTube channel, even our YouTube channel. So if you have anything to know through this video, because it was quite informative video, and you can get so many answers of your question through this video. So Daniel, do you have any question finally to me?
Not anymore, I guess. We have almost covered all the parts.
Because so far I know that students are having a lot of questions for study abroad.
I will definitely
So
refer some students to you to ask you some more
what kind of
questions.
what kind of common questions you are facing, apart from those questions you have asked me? Any other question
First
that you are
question, will
facing?
I get the visa? First question, that's
Or like
will I get the visa?
they are asking for the
So
visa guarantee, or
visa
like
certainty, that's the very big problem. They
okay,
don't
okay.
research
So,
about the institution of the country, they just need the guarantee. It's a very big problem
and
in our country.
also the common question you're facing from the student, the ranking of the university, ranking of the institutions,
Yeah.
world ranking. So this is the very common question. Okay, fine. I would like to explain a bit more about the ranking of the university. See, take an example of University of Waterloo. It's one of the top
Best university.
top ranking university in the world. It's within 150 in QS world ranking, and for engineering it is, I think, within 50, top 50. The thing is that the fees of University of Waterloo, it's more than 50,000 of Canadian dollar, because it's very good university for engineering. And to be part of University of Waterloo, you also be a top student. So okay, fine, if you're a top student, definitely you can think for the top universities, but still the top students means it's not like that you have a top CGPA, like you have a 5 out of 5. They are not only looking for that, they're also looking for your some additional skills like extracurricular, your IELTS, your some other achievements. They will look into it because it's a very competitive. And so you should think for the ranking in that particular part, if you think that you can adjust it. Because adjustment, if you talk about the hotel system like 5-star, 4-star, 3-star hotels, when you're thinking about the 5-star hotels, you need to think that whether you can adjust the 5-star hotel or not. It's very important in your life, because in the top ranked universities, definitely the classroom size is big. Then you have to be very competitive candidate. So in that case you can think for it, but don't think that the other universities like mid-level university, because you are a mid-level student. So always you need to think about the mid-level students where the class size is low. The class size is like 25 is to 1, or 30 is to 1, where you can groom up yourself. You can ask the lecturer very easily, very comfortably. And because I think that education is not like getting a degree. Just education is something that to be knowledgeable, to get the knowledge, to get the to learn the things properly. If you learn the things properly, definitely you can implement yourself in your career very easily. Otherwise, CGPA or GPA or these things will not give you any kind of additional exposure, or any kind of additional skills to your career. So you need to think CGPA is required. Definitely, CGPA is required, but it's not like that without skill, without learning. CGPA is required with very much the you need to focus on the learning part and the skill part. So then the CGPA will work. Otherwise, it will not work. So that things you need to keep in your mind. And about the visa guarantee, see, the visa is issued by the embassy or high commission, and they will look into your motivation, your financial background. And even though the university also cannot give you the visa guarantee, even though we cannot give also the visa guarantee, because there is nothing such guarantee in our service. But still, what we can guarantee you our service, that we can guarantee your satisfaction with us. We can give you our best effort, so which can give you a better success, which can give you a good way to find out a good way to become a successful candidate. So definitely we can guarantee you our best effort. So that's the thing I would like to say. So Daniel, thank you
Very
so
well
much
said.
for
Can
your
I
wonderful
just
time.
end with something, if you don't mind?
Yes, yes,
Because
yes, yes,
your
please add.
speech influenced me a lot, last part of your
Yes,
speech.
yes, please, please,
Okay,
please add.
as we are all spending a boring time in this pandemic situation, I am organizing some courses. So if anyone is interested, like spoken or IELTS, they can join, or they can even try my free classes, which is gonna be on 16 and 30th of this month. So that will give you some idea about my teaching style, because I'm not as famous as Said Bhai, but I'm trying my best to be as close to him in my own sector.
Exactly.
So the thing is, if you have a good score in IELTS, that's a very big issue. And another thing is, if you're wasting your time by sitting at home, and when the world will be normal again, you will have to rush again. So in the rush, the situation, a rushing situation, and the whole pressure coming back to your life again, I don't think everyone will perform equally. So when you are sitting idly at home, I would suggest everyone to do the courses, because when you're doing the courses online, they're very affordable, very cheap. In fact, in my scenario, all of the courses of mine is actually half of my actual fee. So it's gonna be very effective for all of the students from any sector. So you guys can try it out, my free classes or the courses. And definitely
Exactly.
Side by
Exactly, and I would like to add some more thing with Daniel. See, he has been working since 2009, which is a longer time. It's near about 11 years of journey, and definitely the person who made a journey of more than 11 years. So definitely you can trust him very easily. And number two is that so far I have met a lot of students of him, and I can see the average score of his students is nearly 6.5, 6.57, in between that 7.5 sometimes we got. And I think you have a latest achievement of 8.5 or something like that, Daniel.
someone got 9 out of 9 spoken, overall
Okay,
8
now overall 8, so
in
which is a
20 days
very good
actually.
in 20 days. So it's a very good achievement, very outstanding achievement. So the thing is that see, there are a lot of IELTS centers in our country, a lot of IELTS centers. But the thing is that you should check and research that who are giving you the best teaching, who are not. Finally, you need to avoid those who are giving you the guarantee. First of all, you need to avoid those. In the first view, you need to avoid those who are giving you a guarantee. And
In
another
both
thing is
sector,
that
consultancy and IELTS, in both sector, we should clear
consultancy
right
and
in
you
both
need to
sector.
avoid these both parts, that guarantee, who are giving guarantee. Please be aware of them, and please keep yourself away from them. I mean, I would say that 1,000 miles away from them. Number one. Number two is that whenever you are searching for an IELTS center, definitely you need to check their profile, the teacher's profile, their success stories, because nowadays you don't need to go to them to visit them physically. You can check their YouTube channel, you can check their that
Facebook
Facebook
page.
page or Instagram. So you can get a good idea that whether you should choose this IELTS. And I so far I believe that any IELTS center, it totally depends on the IELTS teacher who are teaching. Okay. And okay, we'll take a question. Finally, we got a comments. Tasneem Hassan Khan, he's the most honest and best IELTS teacher in the town. Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you so much for your comments, Tasneem. So definitely, we would like to wish Daniel the best wishes for him for his future journey. Is such a young guy, and definitely long time is here still to go a long way for
You're being very
Daniel.
humble.
And
Thank you.
yes, yes, and we'll be with you definitely, and I hope that you will be also with Prominent as well. So the thing is that I would like
Inshallah.
to say all our viewers, please try to research first that who are actually giving the proper teaching. And the number one, that another thing that Daniel has said, that the class size. Suppose if someone is having a classroom of 50, 60 students, I'm sure that you won't be getting a proper attention by the teacher. Just avoid this. You just take a IELTS instructor who are really teaching in a in a very small class, like 5, 6, maximum 9 or 10. Because nowadays, because I know some instructor, those who are taking classes of like 8, 10 people, and the average score of those IELTS instructor classes, like it's nearly 6.5, 7, because they have the individual one-to-one attention of each student. That is very important, because IELTS is not something like a mobile phone. You just purchase it and get the best one like iPhone. It's something like you need to be groomed up. You need to be groomed up by a teacher, and the teacher should have a minimum number of students that he can put his attention to the particular students. Otherwise it won't work. And in sometimes I saw in some IELTS center, like there are students of different levels. Like some people, they don't have any basic levels. Some things they have mid level of basic. Some people, they have some advanced level. So when they are mixing up with so many levels people, so ultimately there no output is coming, because it's giving the wrong impact to all of them. So you just try to find out actually how they are running the classes, how they are giving the lessons. So it's very important to find out, research by yourself. In sometimes it is happening that because of the name, because of the marketing, because of the sales, we know the name very frequently, but the name will not give you the IELTS score. The name will never give you the good IELTS score. The IELTS score you can get in a good band score, you can get definitely if you get a good training, good teacher. So that is very important. The name of a company will not give you any output, honest, to be honest. So you need to look into the specifically about the instructor who is teaching, how qualified he is, and what is the average success ratio of him, and how is his approach. Okay, so that is very important. So Daniel, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot,
And
you.
definitely I believe that it will be very helpful. And Daniel also started the online classes definitely in the pandemic situation. And people, I would like to say one more thing, that sometimes you are feeling that if I don't see the face of the teacher physically, then you won't feel confidence. But forget about that. Just forget about the physical or in-person classes. Just after next couple of months, you need to fix your mind for the virtual thing. Just because if you get the same service, same class through the virtual platform, then why should you take a risk and go to a IELTS center physically? So just
Sure.
try to follow the online classes, because the online classes is the same as you will do in the physical classroom, which is very important. Because nowadays you should be careful, you should keep yourself in safe position, and definitely you can smoothly, comfortably, you can do online classes that Daniel is doing, and some other instructors are also doing the online classes, and they are very active. They are giving their best effort through the online platform. So you need to join, and the benefit is that you don't need to be rushed for to catch up a bus, to catch a transportation like CNG or Uber. So you just sitting in your home, take a coffee, and take 2 cups of coffee and have the coffee and do the classes. It's a very simple thing. And if you have any question, you can raise your hand online and you can ask question. This is my question, sir. What will? And the online classes, the class size is very less, like it's 8 to 10 people. So it's very easy to catch up the attention of a teacher. So be positive, try to keep yourself positive, and try to think positive. Don't think always negative, and don't, that don't make other people negative. Okay, so that's very important. And Daniel, finally would like to take a leave from this
Sure.
live session.
Thanks for time as well, and thanks a
One
lot for
comment,
inviting me.
like Fariha Naushin, how can I apply for a
11
scholarship
moments.
in a Canadian university? See, Canadian university, they have partial scholarship, depends on your academic strength, mostly in bachelor level. So actually for a scholarship, we need to know the details of your academic strength, and also your IELTS score. So you just be in touch with Prominent, will be helping you out on that. So Daniel, thank you so much, and your viewers, thanks for watching for this
Thank you.
live
Allah
session.
Hafiz.
We tried a lot to give you some motivational, to motivate you positively. I hope it will help you. And still, if you have any further question, just be in touch with us. We guys are here to serve you. Thank you. Good night. Stay safe. Stay in home. It's a common dialogue, but still, I would say I need to repeat: stay home, stay safe, and keep others safe. Thank you so much. Bye. Take care.
Allah
Good night.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.